Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Wreck. And this movie came out in 2007, and I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I thought that there were a lot of things that it did very, very well, and there are parts of it that I really do love, and surprisingly very scary at a lot of points in the film. And in terms of the horror and overall emotions that it's trying to get at, I do think that this movie is very successful in just about anything that it's trying to do. And I do like the characters in this movie. I think they're very memorable characters, and they're not like the stupidest people in the world for the most part. Sometimes they do make stupid decisions. While that does happen, that doesn't make me hate the characters, because the bad decision that they made only happens at the end of the movie, like close to the end of the movie. And it's really difficult for that to make me hate a character, because it takes so long for that to happen in the movie. And for most of it, I was really enjoying the characters and them just approaching everything with like logic, and like you would have all these different perspectives of different people, like trying to figure out what to do in this situation and possibly get out of this situation. And it's kind of like The Thing in ways, where you're just trapped in this one building, and there's no way you can get out, and if you try to get out, then the police are just going to shoot you. And that's how serious the situation is, and nobody knows what to do, and they have ideas as to what to do, but nothing seems to work, and it's just everyone trying to survive and like stay calm and not let horrible things happen to them. And when violence happens in this movie, it does feel as though like serious damage was done. It never comes across as cheesy, and like the first bit of violence in the movie I thought was handled very, very well, and it never felt fake to me. And I don't remember any CG blood like being super noticeable to me, and I liked the design of the people who were like the antagonists, I guess is what I'll call them, without spoiling anything, because I do kind of want to keep what is going on a secret as best I can. I can't keep everything a secret, obviously, but that was one thing that I really enjoyed about the movie. And the acting in this movie was great, and there wasn't any bad performances, and everyone, I really believed their characters, and there were a lot of great characters, and even if you don't know too much about them, they're still well defined, and you, at the very least, understand what kind of decisions they would make in a specific situation, and that's something that I liked about it. And now I'm going to get into my issues with the movie, and one of my complaints with this movie would be the rumbling sound effect that this movie used. I don't think it used it very well, and I've already described how much it didn't fit in Unfriended, and I thought it worked in Paranormal Activity, and that's the only movie I can think of off the top of my head that is found footage, and it was effective in that movie. In this movie, it didn't really serve a purpose. It kind of just felt like it was trying to have a musical score, but I kind of find that distracting when it's a found footage movie and you're trying to convince people that this is real. It was just kind of distracting to me, and there are some characters that make some really poor choices, and it ultimately costs them everything. And that was something that kind of let me down about the movie, because I was liking them for so long, and then they just had to make a stupid decision for a specific thing to happen, which was kind of disappointing to me. And another thing that I found to be kind of distracting was some of the camera work. It was like super shaky, and I couldn't make out what was happening in one specific scene. And as far as issues, that's about it. And I've seen the very ending of this movie before, and I've seen Adam from Your Movie Sucks' review for like his comparison between Wreck and Quarantine. And he mentioned that the trailer for Quarantine spoils the very end of the movie, and it's the exact same ending for this movie as well. So whatever you do, do not watch the trailer for Quarantine because it spoils the ending for this movie. So I kind of knew what was going to happen by the end of it, but it was still effective at the very least. And there's only one jump scare in this movie from memory, and it was effective, and I thought it worked very well. And most of it is like it's never a false scare, and it builds up tension very well. And there is violence in this movie, but it never comes across as shock value. It just is very effective, and it's like this perfect balance between pretty disturbing and going into shock value, and it writes that perfect line for me. And I thought that it was well handled. And another issue that I had with the movie, and this isn't really a huge deal for me, but there were some things that I found to be pretty predictable, and I could see it coming from like a mile away, and it was pretty disappointing. But the last 10 minutes of the movie really made up for that, and I thought that was easily one of the highlights of the movie. And overall, I did like the first half better than the second half. Not by a whole lot, but I just really enjoyed the setup and build up to everything, and it was very well paced, and it wasn't wasting any time. And the found footage aspect to this movie actually serves a purpose, and they do something with it, and that's something that I really liked about it. It doesn't just use it because it's trying to be like a cheap horror movie. They actually had an idea, and they wanted to explore it, and like has like these fun ideas to do with found footage, and that's something that I really liked about it. And by the end of the day, I was never disappointed with anything that we got from what they explored. But going back to me enjoying the first half more than the second half, I more enjoyed the first half simply because stupid character decisions weren't happening. I didn't see what was coming, and it was like I was watching a movie I've never seen before. Whereas the second half, it kind of dips into that territory a little bit. Up until the last 10 minutes, minus the last however many seconds of the movie. That's about all I have to say about Wreck. It was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was happy with what we got by the end of the day. And even the stuff that wasn't perfect, I didn't feel as though it ruined the movie for me. And I would definitely revisit this movie. And it was very effective, and it was very impressive with what it was trying to do, and it was never boring to me. And I'm excited to see Wreck 2, because I've also heard that one's good as well. So check this movie out whenever you get the chance. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Wreck a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of Wreck, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Resident Evil Apocalypse. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.